If you ask a random member of the public right now, what's more valuable, platinum or gold? I bet you most people would probably say platinum. But actually the opposite is true, with platinum currently sitting at just over half the value of gold. Now that is quite a discrepancy in my mind and potentially represents an opportunity for platinum as a viable alternative to gold and potentially even for silver. But it does not come without its pitfalls. So let's talk about platinum and see whether or not it really could be a viable alternative as a precious metal to stack. Hello everybody, Backyard Bullion here, and a warm welcome to you all joining me for another precious metal ramble. Now today I want to do a check-in with platinum. Now platinum traditionally was the king of precious metals. It was worth more than gold at one point, but now it's currently sitting at just over half the value of gold, which for me, in my mind anyway, doesn't sit right. I remember when growing up, platinum was the highest denomination coin in video games and Dungeons and Dragons. It was platinum albums above gold albums. Platinum was this king of metals. Even when I chose my wedding ring here, we went for platinum because it was more prestigious. It just had that je ne sais quoi over gold. But right now it's sitting at just over half the price of gold. So in my mind, it does potentially represent this interesting situation where you could use it as a hedge against gold. You could buy it as an alternative against gold and even potentially consider it as an alternative to silver. Now, a lot of what I'm going to be saying today is my own thoughts and opinions and observations of this metal and the markets and its potential. It's not financial advice. In fact, I'm also going to caution you against buying platinum because it is difficult to both buy and sell. And that is within its own rights one of its barriers to entries that needs to be strongly considered. So with all that in mind, let's crack on now and talk about platinum. So platinum has this real interesting history. It's not, of course, a traditional monetary metal. It's not been used really throughout human history as a currency or as a precious metal. In fact, if we go back to Central and South American history and we see in the archaeological record, there are huge deposits of platinum that were just discarded away. It has an absurdly high melting point relative to silver and gold, and a lot of the traditional kind of methods of refining back then just didn't get hot enough to melt it, and you would have this black kind of ore sludge that's next to your gold that you would have out and refine down. And that's why you see a lot of the Central American and South American sort of archaeological records showing so much gold relative to platinum. And it is fascinating that it was just discarded away in slag pits as this unwanted metal, which I think is fascinating. And only in this modern world have we realized that actually it's got some really incredible industrial properties, and it's been used very recently in catalytic converters for cars and the automotive industry. And in fact, that was actually part of its downfall, because over the last 10 years, palladium took over as king. Platinum certainly was reduced. It was primarily in diesel cars, and of course the fall away from diesel as the automotive of favor has just led to its slow and steady decline. So it's now sitting less valuable than gold, which is really strange for a lot of people to have. And I know from my perspective as a somebody who likes to take a little bit of risks with metals, I realized that and I understood that. So if we get the first platinum coin that I bought, which was this Lion of England here, we can see when I bought it first. This was back in 2017. And I bought it for £839.30. Now that is including a bit of a premium that comes on top of these coins from just generally buying in the European Union. You're looking at about 10% at that time period. That was before the VAT would have been added on, and this of course didn't happen because it was Brexit. And for those that don't know, GS.BE was a Belgian dealer that we had it imported via. Now, in this modern world now, you would have to add VAT on top of that. So I'm looking at a couple of dealers right now, and the cheapest ounce of platinum that you could potentially buy is sitting at over £1,000 an ounce, and that's about a 30% premium. And a 30% premium is a lot. It's certainly a lot more than gold, and it represents, a lot more of a liquidity issue. If you buy an ounce of gold right now, you'll be 3 or 4% over spot, if not less right now. I'm seeing spot offers on places like the Silver Forum for gold And if you need to liquidate it, then your swing is less damaging. But platinum has this potential in my book, which is not to be overlooked. Now, in terms of holding it, it's a long-term hold. You've got to hold it for a long time. Platinum's got affecting factors from geopolitical situations in the world right now in Europe. You're looking at one of the major manufacturers of platinum, or producers of platinum in the world, of course, having persona non grata status, let's call it, in this modern world, and that's having an effect. It's new tariffs being put on and penalties being put on by various governments for those imports, which are going to have a lead-on effect to premiums on this stuff as well. So it's certainly an interesting potential, but it's risky. That's what I'm trying to get at here. You need to be looking at this as a long-term hold if you're looking to buy platinum. Certainly gold, for me, it's this long-term hold as well, but it has the liquidity bonus added to it. Now, what about silver? What about a viable alternative to silver? So right now, if you're looking to buy silver in the UK, you're paying VAT on it. You're probably going to be looking at about a 30% premium overall as well. Potentially a little bit less if you're buying just a giant 100 ounce bar from somewhere like Baird & Co. But if you're buying coin form silver, you'd be looking at 30, 35, 40 even percent or more, which again is this quite high premium on your metal. But we're looking here at potential, and where I see platinum's bonus over silver right now is that really platinum should be worth a lot more. And certainly before March this year, when the big geopolitical event that I'm trying not to name so that YouTube doesn't completely hide my video in the world of the algorithm, platinum was worth a lot more. It had seen this growth period, but then suddenly it's dropped down. And if that suddenly recorrects and we see that growth, I think it's got more potential than silver. And if you are not a subscriber to, as a lot of channels will sell you right now, that silver is going to go to the moon, it's going to recorrect, it's going to be hundreds of dollars an ounce, which is a load of, brown stuff, to be quite frank. It's actually potentially more likely to happen to platinum. We're more likely to see a big correction in platinum right now than we are gold, in my opinion anyway. That said, it is a risk. It is difficult to buy and sell. I say difficult to buy. I mean, you can buy it pretty easily from dealers. It's difficult to buy on the secondary market. There's not a lot of it out there. I think there's a lot of people who just don't understand it or don't understand. It's like silver. You have to work for it. If you're buying on the secondary market, then you can get better prices from dealers, but you have to work for it. You have to know how to test platinum. You have to have the right equipment to potentially test it. You can test it with Sigma machines, but again, it's one of these metals which can be very easily faked. Its density is very similar to that of tungsten. Tungsten's is less dense, to be fair, but you can create quite easily a fake platinum coins with tungsten and various other elements to go into it. So it is difficult. It's not very common, but it is difficult to test them. Lastly, the selling side of things is a big thing. So liquidity is always something that I will consider when I'm looking to buy pretty much anything that's precious metal at the moment. How easy is it to sell? Now, I've personally not sold any of my own personal platinum stacks, but over the last sort of 2-3 years, I've been working with a gentleman who bought a very large stack of platinum. He bought huge amounts of it in terms of numbers, quite astounding really, and I've been helping him sell, listing them on his behalf. And I have to say, it's relatively easy to sell at the right price. I think that's the important thing. As I said, you can get them from dealers for about 30% over spot price. 20% over spot price seems to sell relatively well on the second-hand market, but I'm maybe sort of speaking from a bit of a gilded position because I have a big social media presence. I have this network of individuals and buyers and people who are willing to send me money because I've got these platinum coins and I know they're real, I've tested them. But if you're trying to buy from just a random person on the internet, there's going to be a lot of skepticism. So perhaps I'm in a bit of a gilded situation, but I've probably sold close to 100 ounces of platinum on this chap's behalf. And they've all sold. They've all sold pretty easily, pretty quickly, and without too much hassle at around the 20% over spot mark. So you can get your premiums back, but dealers, this is the big crux of the matter, because if you need to sell your platinum quickly, if you need to, really the bills come a-knocking and you need to get money out, you're going to get really, really surprised by some of the buyback prices from dealers. It'll be less than spot most of the time. Some dealers will offer spot, and that's if they even accept it. And that's usually only the dealers that will actually deal in platinum, and they'll pretty much only offer you a good price, as in spot, if it's something that they can turn around and sell. Remember, it's about margins for dealers, and and it's not particularly a popular metal for dealers to sell. If they buy gold, they can sell it all day long. If they buy silver, they're probably going to sell it in a shorter period of time. But if they buy platinum, it's money that they've got to have locked up for a long time. And if you look at those premiums that I'm talking about, it's about a 10%, 11% premium on top of the spot price, and then you get VAT on top. So the dealer has got to potentially only make 10%. And if they're buying this coin off you for £900, that's £90 for their labour, their time, and they've also got to consider the fluctuating markets, which go up and down very drastically for platinum. It's absolutely mad. You look at gold and silver, it's relatively stable, certainly more stable than it is for platinum. So there's a whole host of different things which are against platinum, but yet there's still something in my mind that says that one day it could come well in the end. So should we consider it as a viable alternative? No, I think is my conclusion. It's not something that I would stack. It's certainly not something that I would do like this gentleman that I've been helping sell over the last couple of years. I wouldn't buy as many as he's done, and trust me, he's got hundreds. It's mad. I would not buy that. I think where I'm sitting at with 5 ounces of platinum, that works for me as a stacker. I think my inner kind of risk taker would be disappointed if platinum recorrected its prices and I didn't have any. So I think having 5 ounces of this stuff is fine for me to have. Does it mean that everybody should have platinum? It depends on your budget. It depends on the size of your stack. Personally, it's a great different metal to have. It's certainly interesting from a density perspective. So I'm just going to quickly finish this video. For those of you who've stayed to the end, for those Rambling Society members, thank you. It's really great to hear and see when you comment down below. So please comment and let me know if you have stayed to the end to see the density difference of platinum and gold. Look at that beautiful density demonstration there. Both the same diameter, but the thickness is drastically different. So yeah, those are my thoughts on platinum right now. Let me know what you think. I'd be fascinated to hear your opinions down below. So please feel free to comment. And if you haven't hit that thumbs up button, then make sure you do that as well. Otherwise, subscribe if you've enjoyed our content. There's probably a good chance you'll enjoy future videos that we make. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you on the next one. As always, please make sure that you like, share, comment, and subscribe for more.